Not gonna lie with you, I started yawning about an hour ago, so I am well on my slide out of the work day. But I've made it through Wednesday, which is pretty significant for me this week. So I will share some of that with you. I'm just going to wait and see if anybody turns up on the call today. Jill Johnson Young, if you are around, I would love you to be on this video today. I am not sure if you are aware of the significance of this week for me. And I've been debating whether or not I'm going to talk about it and talk about what has happened over the past years in this particular week. But I am, because I think there's learning in it. And I think what I've been able to learn over the past 10 years or so is really good, useful information for the rest of us, because life happens. And it happens to us, even as health professionals, as healers, as coaches, consultants. And we can't ignore the fact that life happens and life happens to us. So on Monday, you may have noticed I republished a post that I had written in tribute to my mum. So on Monday, 10 years ago, my mum was killed in a car accident. It was unexpected. It was incredibly traumatic. It was a really, really difficult time. And the 8 years that followed on from that were really tough until I started paying attention to the work of Jill Johnson Young and was able to make sense of my reactions to what had gone on for me in that process, and the guilt and the shame and all the things that go on when there is a tragic loss in your family. What you may not realize is that this day 1 year ago, my father had a massive head injury while he was at work, and he ended up dying as a result of those injuries. So it's quite a significant week for me. And I thought, I'm doing fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine. And on the whole, I am fine. I am not talking to you about this looking for your sympathy about these situations. I know that they're tragic, and I know that they are shocking if you haven't heard the stories before, but they're a significant part of who I am today. But I do want to share with you how I got ready for this week. I haven't been looking forward to this week. Oh, Jill, you are here. Excellent. Okay. Whew. I am doing this post because Jill helps me be brave about this stuff. I will be honest. How I prepared for this week. I wasn't looking forward to it. I wasn't looking forward to having to deal with other people's emotions around this situation. So my sister and I have been quietly talking offline, away from places, just about how we want to cope and how we want to manage with the situation this week. I spent a lot of emotional energy last week in making sure that my dad had a funeral and was able to include all the people in his world into that funeral. And that was my gift to my family and to his new family and to the extended family and to all the people there. And that had been a really powerful thing for me to be able to do. What I hadn't recognized was that because I was the person who met my dad coming into a Sydney-based hospital, he needed to come to a larger teaching hospital. I met him, I spoke to the neurosurgeons, I was talking to the registrars, I was helping the rest of my family make sense of what was going on for him in his anatomy, physiologically, and what the consequences of that were likely to mean. Now, given the work that I do, I expected to be triggered about that every time I met somebody who had experienced a head injury, but I haven't been. So sometimes what we think is going to trigger us doesn't actually trigger us. What has been more triggering for me potentially this week is the anticipation of really strong emotions. Because I've said it before, and I've said it many times, that strong emotions are not my friend. I don't enjoy them. I don't like them. I know that emotions are important. I know they give us lots of information and they enrich our lives, but I don't particularly enjoy them. I think because there are lots of strong negative emotions in my fairly recent history. So how I've prepared for this week? Well, I have made sure that I have reduced the amount of face-to-face work that I've needed to do. And the face-to-face work that I've needed to do this week has not been work where I knew I was going to hear stories that could potentially trigger me. I have done more with my coaching clients this week because we are future focused. We are looking forward. We are not trying to untangle emotional messes. I have walked away from heated conversations where emotions have been high because I don't know if I'm responding from a mature place, a healthy place, or whether I'm just reacting to a sense of foreboding. I am here to tell you that my sense of foreboding has been incredibly alive and strong this week. So much so that my son butt called me, and he didn't leave a message, as you don't do. He didn't comment on it, but I freaked. My initial reaction was, what the hell has gone on? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And that has been my reaction to any family interaction this week. Something's wrong. What's wrong? Something's wrong. So I've been on this heightened state of alertness. So it's no wonder that by Wednesday afternoon, I am tired. Now, that being said, I did deliver a webinar last night, and I did a really good job because it distracted me and kept me focused and allowed me to give out. Because I have discovered that an incredible coping strategy for me is to be able to deliver quality with gratitude, to be grateful for the people in my world. My dad's death taught me the power of gratitude in helping you heal and resolve. But people and experts like Jill have helped me understand that nobody grieves the same. And even though I had had a 9-year practice with the traumatic death of my mum, it didn't prepare me for the traumatic death of my dad. So next year, what I will do is make sure that this is a down week for me. I will make sure that if I need space to have some rituals and some plans or to be away, because I honestly thought I wanted to be away this week. That's what I've done in the past, but actually I didn't want to be away. I wanted to be near my things, my home, my safe space. If I want to write, if I want to journal, if I want to connect with my family. This year I haven't wanted to connect. This year I'm like, please leave me be because I don't know how I'm going to be in this space right now. So if you have got major events that might cause you some triggering or might, I really recommend preparing for these events and the memory of these events in our work. If you are fueled by your client work and you know that you can deliver, then make sure you're doing good quality client work on those dates. If you need to take days off, I know for the first eight years after my mum died, the anniversary of her death, I would take it off. I would just disappear because that's how I replenish. That's how I look after me. But the key has been in the planning and the preparation. And it's allowed me to be able to do all the things that I need to do in a way that is congruent with me, that is healthy for me, that's not causing me to overreact. It's not causing me to be socially unaware, but it's also allowing me to live the grief experience that's unique and powerful for me. So if you've got significant memorial events or dates or times in your calendar, can I suggest that you actually mark them off on your calendar and create space for yourself around them? Interesting for me, I'm really good on the day and in the moment. Where I'm not so good is the day after. So I'm actually expecting that I'll be a little bit more fragile tomorrow. And that's awesome because guess what? I've got 1 half-an-hour call booked tomorrow. I can pull it together for 1 half-an-hour call. I'm not saying I will be messy tomorrow. I'm just saying there's a greater chance I will be messy tomorrow. But guess what? I don't feel the pressure of having to get up and perform all day and be on and giving out all day. I've created that margin for myself around something that's a really significantly impacting week for me. So again, like I said, I'm not here looking for sympathy. I know these are tragic stories, but what I want to do is help you plant some seeds for yourself on how you can incorporate this into your own self-care, because it's significant. And we can't be dealing with the emotional burdens of others when we are feeling really emotionally burdened ourselves. We don't do ourselves a service, and we certainly won't do our clients a service. So there we go. I'm finishing up for the day. I got through it. I'm very proud of myself. Thank you very much for your encouragement, Jill, as always. And thank you to the others who turned up today. And I hope that this message gives you some hope. I hope it gives you something that you can tangibly do. And I hope you will follow the wisdom in it and plan for your success, because essentially that's what I'm asking you to do. Until tomorrow, go be your awesome self.